And overseas now to a warning from British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Businesses and the public should prepare to leave the European Union without a trade deal. Let's get right to Bloomberg Europe reporter Maria Tadeo in Brussels. Maria, it's so great to have you back on the show again today. What does this latest news mean for Britain's economy, and what are next steps when it comes to Brexit?
Right. So we know that the Prime Minister yesterday sent a very clear message. The country should be ready now for a no-deal Brexit. Everyone should get ready for what he likes to call an Australian deal. But ultimately what that means is that you leave the European Union without a trade deal in place, or you could see tariffs and you could see quotas too in the way that you do business. Now, there was one line in particular that was really interesting out of that speech from the Prime Minister that really caught my eye, in which he said, however, I am ready to go to Paris. I am ready to go to Berlin if that's what it takes. So clearly he's reaching out to the Europeans to try to inject political momentum on this. What is interesting is that there was a meeting today here in Brussels. It went on for 20 hours, nonstop. European leaders, all of them, Angela Merkel, Emmanuel Macron, Giuseppe Conte, all of the big names in Europe were in a room, and they only talked about Brexit for 10 minutes. Wow. They focused on climate, they focused on the European budget, they focused on many other things, but not that Merkel-Macron moment that the Prime Minister was hoping to get.
Okay, so what does this mean as far as deadlines go? What is the next step here?
Look, what it means is that we are potentially moving closer to a no-deal Brexit. What it means is that also the stakes going into Sunday are obviously much higher now, and that there are going to be preparations for a no-deal Brexit coming in the next few weeks. We're moving very close to that deadline on New Year's Eve. What it also means, however, is that if we do see a breakthrough, it's going to have to come in the next few hours. It's going to have to come in the next few 48, 50 hours, because otherwise you're running, as I say, very, very late. What it also means, however, is that we could see, however, some of the red lines, some of the sticking points start to move, just because there is so much pressure on both sides to try to get a deal. Because as I say, the deadlines are now very much becoming a reality here, and they're coming and approaching very fast.
There's also news about emission standards in Europe. I know you mentioned a portion of the meeting was, of course, focused on climate. What's changed?
Look, this is a huge deal for the Europeans. If you cover the European Union and you cover Brussels, then you know that for Europe, the so-called Green Deal is everything. It's about becoming the first climate neutral continent in the world. It's about modernizing the economy to make it greener, and it's about cutting emissions. And that's what they agreed to yesterday night, to do it quicker and make some of those targets more ambitious. So what they're going to do now is that cut targets by 55%. That's the emission cut that they're aiming for, but they're hoping to get that to 30 or by 2030, I would say. So rather than 2050, which was the original deadline, they're now moving that forward to 2030, which in reality means that whatever cuts you see to emissions are going to have to be done very quick if you want to get to that target. Essentially, you're looking at 10 years from now.
Bloomberg's Maria Tadeo at our Brussels bureau. Maria, thank you, and thank you for spending so much time this week and updating us on everything when it comes to Brexit and Brussels.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quicktake now for insight in an instant.